Have you ever been out on a ride and just thought, man, I could do this for a living? Turning that passion for cycling into a real business? That's the dream, right? But here's the thing. Passion alone isn't going to pay the bills. So that's what this is. This is your founder's roadmap to building a successful bike rental business and, getting it right from the get-go.
It's pretty easy to picture it, isn't it? I mean, you can see it now, can't you? Happy customers, all that fresh air, sharing your love for being outside. But then that big question hits you. Where do you even begin? It can feel totally overwhelming, I get it. But the first step, it's actually way simpler than you might think. So let's break it down.
You see, making that leap from just having a bike to having a real storefront, that takes a huge mindset shift. This isn't just a weekend project or a fun side hustle. We're talking about a real, legitimate business. And yeah, that means real risks and real rules. But it also means real rewards. And we're going to give you the map to navigate that journey.
All right, first things first. Before you even think about buying a single bike, you've got to pressure test your idea. And look, this is probably the most important stage of all, because a brilliant idea in the wrong market, that's just a recipe for disaster. So let's make sure your vision is solid.
Okay, time for a little tough love. This is probably the most honest question you're going to have to ask yourself. Are you building this thing for you or for your actual paying customers? Is this just a hobby you're trying to turn into a job, or are you actually solving a real need for people? Seriously, the answer to that one question is going to define your entire strategy.
So where do you find this real need? Well, it's all about the flow of people. Your job is to become an expert at spotting those natural currents of customers. Are there hotels nearby that are always packed with tourists? Is there that one park trail that everyone in town talks about? The key is, don't try to create demand out of thin air. Go find where it already is.
Okay, so you've done your homework, you've confirmed the demand is really there, that's awesome. Now it's time to turn that potential into a rock-solid plan. And of course, we got to talk about the fuel that makes it all run, the money.
Let's be real, nobody wants to read a 50-page business plan, and I mean nobody, especially not a lender. What they want is clarity. Your plan just needs to answer 4 simple things. Who are you selling to? How much does it cost? What are your expenses for the first 6 months? And what's your big promise to them? That's it. A plan that's this clear and concise, it shows you mean business.
Okay, let's talk costs. Obviously, the bikes themselves are the big ticket item, no surprise there. But the most critical part of this budget, and this is the one most people totally forget, is the cash buffer. That 20%, that's not extra money. Oh no, that's your survival fund. It's for when a key part breaks, or a supplier's late, or a whole month of rain just washes out your income. Trust me, being unprepared here can be a fatal mistake. All right, with a solid plan and a smart budget in hand, it's time to start building the foundation. And yeah, this next part, the legal stuff, the insurance, the location, it can feel a little intimidating, I know. But this is the stuff that makes your business real and protects you for the long haul.
The legal side feels way more complicated than it actually is. It really just boils down to asking a few simple questions to the right people. You definitely don't need a law degree for this. Just use this table like your personal script. It tells you who to call and exactly what to ask. Think of it as a cheat sheet to make this whole process way less mysterious.
Now let's talk about waivers. A waiver is not some magic shield that protects you from everything. And yes, you absolutely need one, and it needs to be looked at by a professional. But your real protection, that's your process. That piece of paper is your last line of defense. Your first, second, and third lines are rigorous safety checks, perfectly maintained bikes, and crystal clear instructions. The real work of managing risk happens long before a customer even hops on the bike.
Okay, so the legal and financial foundations are in place. Now we get to the really fun part, the stuff your customers will actually see and touch. This is all about shaping that customer experience, from the kind of bikes you have to the brand they walk away remembering. So for your launch, I want you to remember 2 words: simple and effective. You're going to start with a right-sized fleet of bikes. You can always add more later. Make sure you've got all the essentials like helmets and locks. Pick a simple, memorable name. And your website? It has one job, and one job only, to have a big, obvious Book Now button. The golden rule here is to make it ridiculously easy for people to give you their money.
15? What's that? Well, it's not just a random number. It's maybe your most important target. 15 minutes. That is your goal for getting a customer from the moment they walk in your door to the moment they're pedaling away. Think about it. Can you do that? Your whole process, the waiver, the payment, fitting the bike,
Everything should be obsessed with hitting that number because efficiency is an amazing customer experience. All right, here we are. All the planning, the budgeting, the building, it has all led to this very moment. The bikes are tuned up, the shop looks great, and you are just about to open your doors. This is it, the final pre-flight check before you go live.
So, are you ready to open? That's the big question, right? But listen, there's a huge difference between feeling ready and knowing you're ready. Hope is not a business strategy. You need to go through and systematically check that every single critical piece of your operation is working perfectly before that first customer ever walks through the door.
Think of this as your personal go-live checklist. You're going to go down this list one item at a time. Is your insurance coverage actually active? Not gonna be, but is it active right now? Have you personally gone on your website and done a test booking and payment? Have you walked through the waiver process? Come on, every single box left unchecked here is just a future headache you're creating for yourself.
And so here we are right back where we started, thinking about the customer experience. Because this one question, it really sums up everything. Could a first-time visitor, someone who has never heard of you, book a bike, show up, get geared up, and ride away safely in under 15 minutes? If the answer to that is yes, then you're not just ready to open, you are ready to succeed. And if the answer is no, well then your job is to just keep simplifying things relentlessly until it is. That right there is the secret.